Excuse me? Okay, my friend, close your eyes, please. But underneath those stories is one story. What is the story? What is the story? If I wouldn't hang out with you for free, then I'm probably not going to take your money. You know what it's about.
Yeah.
Look at my arms.
Yeah, they're big guns.
Well, they're not big guns, but there is a penis vein in it.
Remember you said about the mirror shot earlier?
Oh, this one. Oh, hold on. For fuck's sake. Thumb's fucked. Oh, for fuck's sake, it won't work, Mark. Fucking hell, look. It's a good job I meditated this morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
So we know people are always asking the question, you know, what does Paul do for a business, and they want you to talk about it. But what I really want to know is what does business mean to you?
Nothing like putting me on the spot, my friend. So what does business mean to me? Well, I can tell you one thing, it's meant different things to me at different points in my life. Like, when I first started in business, when I first kind of became self-employed, it was like a bunch of fun. Like, I felt like a bit of a rebel. I suppose I still am that dude, but then, it was fun. Then it kind of became, I would do anything to make money in business. Like, I would sell to anybody with a wallet and pulse. I would make money by any means necessary. And that kind of created a burden. Like, it just became a burden. I was like, oh, fuck, sometimes, wouldn't it just be easier to get a job where, like, I clock in the morning and clock out at night? And then I could party on a weekend and not have any responsibilities. So, it's meant different things to me. But now the way I look at it is this. Business kind of, it's a means to funding my lifestyle. And I am certainly not my business. Like, I'm the face of my business, I'm the voice of my business, but I'm not my business.
What do you mean by that you're not your business?
I mean that I don't constantly think about and live in business. Like, I don't live in it. I don't have this giant emotional attachment to it. Sure, I love what I do. I love what I do now, but I am not my business. Like, you could take my business away from me now, I'd be able to do something else. Like, I think as a businessman, it doesn't matter what you can do. It doesn't matter what you can physically do. It doesn't matter what you can do with your hands. It doesn't matter what you can write. As a businessman, the main skill you need is to be able to sell. And a good salesman will never go hungry. So what you have to figure out is, okay, what do I love doing? and then just, if you can sell, if you love doing it, that's what you sell. So that's what I mean by I'm not my business. Like, because I'm able to sell, and because I'm motivated more by lifestyle than I am by money now, I can do anything. That's kind of what I mean. I don't have this giant emotional attachment to my business. Like, this is my calling. This is what I was born to do, and this is where I'm leaving my legacy. I'm like, that sounds, for me, that's kind of mush cookie horseshit. Like, seriously, I just think it's a bit of horseshit. Maybe I haven't grown up enough yet to have found that. But again, like I say, I'm not my business. My business isn't me.
We were talking the other day about like the one dimension concept, and you often said to me it's the don't become a one-dimensional douchebag, which you know I've suffered from time to time.
Me too.
Because we get completely entrenched in our business. But tell me what you mean about the one-dimensional stuff.
So I'd never heard that term, and I certainly didn't realise I was one until my coach Garrett J. White slapped me across the face. Like, dude, and it was a video that triggered the shit out of me. Maybe like my videos trigger you that are watching. Maybe they trigger you, Mark, when you're recording them. They probably do, right? So, a one-dimensional douchebag was basically the guy that I became. A guy that business was more important than hobbies to start with. Business was more important than friendships to start with. I mean, you get to a point where you see your clients more than you see your friends. Then it gets to a point where you see your clients more than you see your family, and you see your laptop more than you see your family. It's fucking nuts. Sometimes I still get like kind of sucked into that world. Like sometimes I get sucked into titty balls. No, I don't get sucked into titty balls. Not anymore anyway. Only because my wife's watching. So the one-dimensional douchebag is basically the guy that has built a business and is so entrenched in his business that everything else slides. And this is the guy who I became. Fat, out of shape, shitty relationship with my wife. Kids just annoyed the shit out of me. Friends, I hardly seen them anymore. I hated anybody that wasn't my friend. And here's one thing that I did do. I built into that whole thing that you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. I'm like, really? So I'm choosing my friends based on whether they can benefit my business or not. Someone's been triggered by me just saying that, because that would have triggered the shit out of me before. Association's important. Getting around people like you is important, but that whole you are the 5 people who you spend the most time with is total horseshit. Like, I spend most of my time with the 2-year-old, the 5-year-old, and my wife. The rest of the time spent with my friends, none of who are entrepreneurs. And guess what, Mark? I do okay. Before that, my friends were based on how they could benefit my business. The one-dimensional douchebag is that guy that says that a lot, has no other friends, no other hobbies, ended up getting out of shape, maybe he's single, maybe his wife's left him, maybe he hardly ever sees his kids. That's one-dimensional douchebag. Basically who I was 2 years ago. So yeah, very easy trap to slip in, because that's the way that's kind of what we're expected to do. That's what all the gurus tell us to do. Hustle your face off, bite people's heads off. Hustle, you will never outwork me. I will die on the treadmill. Horse shit. The people that have to do that is because they don't understand systems. They don't understand outsourcing. They don't understand leveraging and measuring shit. Like, dude, if you have to work that long, something is wrong with you. Oh, I'm fully booked. I'm like, dude, put your fucking prices up. Look, you asked for the news, not the weather. Yeah, dude, I'm ranting there a little bit, but it's like, why do that shit if you can figure out a better way? And all that's happened to me is I got to that point where I was like, this shit is fucking with me too much. And then I was like, oh, is there a different way? And you know what happens to entrepreneurs? We become this dude that strives for this goal, we get there, we go through chronic stress to get to this point, Mark. Every goal that we set in business causes stress. I'm not saying the stress is bad, but often we go through chronic stress, we go through struggles, we suffer, we grind and we hustle. You know that one, the Monday morning, let's grind and hustle. Then when we get there and you're like, what the fuck's this? Is this it? Like, is this it? Is this it? Well, why do I want all this money? What am I going to fucking do with it? Stuff it in my mattress? Like, yeah, looking back on that now, it seems insane to me. Like, it's like we do all this hustle and we go through all this hardship to get something that gives us a feeling. But what if doing the things to get there this thing that's going to give us a feeling? What if doing the things to get there could also give us that same feeling? Yeah, that's a concept that is from the world of unicorns and mush cookies, but hopefully I've just thrown a set of testicles on it and sprayed it with testosterone. That's I've gone off topic there, but that's where I'm at today. So, bottoms up.
When you worked with Garrett showed you what he calls his core four,
Yeah.
which is a concept really entrenched in balance, for want of a better phrase. So just for the listeners, just quickly tell me what the core four are, and then I've got a question for you in how business.
Brilliant. Well, the beautiful thing is that Garrett, before he showed me core four, he showed me a mirror. He basically said all of the shit that I just said with a few more fucks, and was like, I was like, oh fuck, who is this guy? Fucking arsehole. What a helmet. And then I was like, oh shit, he's basically calling me a fucking liar, and he's right. So the core four is this. You can think of it like a four-legged table. Tables have four legs, chairs have four legs. I almost said something really weird there, but it doesn't matter. They have four legs, right? And that is us, the four-legged man. They usually call me the three-legged man, actually, but it's kind of like the four-dimensional man is like a four-legged table, right? And we have these areas. Being, which is kind of who you are being, and I think of it as mindset as well. Who you are being, your balance, which is your relationships, your body, which is your physical body, a representation of how you treat yourself, period. And then the last piece of it is business. And these all affect each other. And right now, most of us are trying to stand on one leg. And then wondering why we keep fucking falling over, or going around in circles. It makes total sense to me. So these all cross over into each other and put together, they are what forms the basis of an unstoppable bastard. This core four is the very foundation of how I live now. Like, not a day goes by where I don't hit core four, almost core four across the board. And I'm so entrenched in it now, and it's changed my life so much. In fact, I'd say saved my life so much that my wife knows when I haven't done it. She knows when I haven't done it. And if I don't do it, I don't perform as well in business. If I don't do it, I lack energy. If I don't do it, I lack focus. If I don't do it, I lack clarity. So yeah, that's core four, dude.
How does business impact the other three core elements? So you've got business, body, balance, business, body, being, and what was the other one?
Body, being, balance, business.
Okay, the question I've got is specifically with the business element of it.
Yeah.
How does that impact the other three to get the business right?
So let's face it. This is what happens to me and most businessmen. We build a business, everything else fucking slides. We build a business, we have all this money, we have all this busyness. Yet relationship is shit. The wife has the nice bags and shit, but you never get laid. Because you come home, you expect to get laid, you expect your tea on the table, and you think that throwing money at her is fine. I know this because I've been this guy. And let's look at, so that's the relationship piece of it. You end up out of shape, you end up fat, you end up depressed, you end up miserable, you go through the phase of being in the shower and not be able to see your tail, for want of a better word. That's code for penis. So that's body, you got balance, and you create this business, but then your fucking mind's all over the place. Like, it's just focused on business. You have no ability to stay present with your kids, to stay present with your wife. You have no ability to deal with stress, right? You think you're going to deal with stress, but if that's the case, why the fuck do you need to drink every weekend? Okay. So you think you have control, but you don't, because you're sedating with booze and your drug of choice. Mine was Santa's eyebrows. But again, I tell the story that I was in control. But that is a form of sedation, which is it's a show that you lack control. Period. I'm not saying boozing's bad, I'm not saying partying's bad. I don't really drink, but I'm not going to condemn anybody that does. But you just got to ask yourself, why do you need to do this if you're in control everywhere? Yeah, so they all affect each other. So have you consider this, right? If you get in shape, if you weaponize your body, do you think it'll benefit your business? More confidence, more control, more clarity, more energy. Do you think it'll affect your relationship? Yeah, you're not blown out of your ass when your kids are running through the street. You are not kind of holding your back while your kids want you to lift them up. You're not sweating while they're asking you to swing them around. I mean, that sounds cliche, but you're able to play football with your kids. But here's the thing, right? Do you think being out of shape, fat, out of energy, grumpy all the time is a good example to your children? Nope, I've been that dude as well. Or do you want, right? I heard this the other day, my son said this. He said to my wife's dad, the Grandad, I'm strong like my dad because he does these exercises. And I was like, yes, I did just high five myself. But do you think that having a better body affects your relationships? Yes, it does. It all crosses over into each other. So having a better relationship with your wife, how does that affect your business? Well, there's a distinct lack of guilt. Sometimes we feel guilty when we have to travel, because sometimes we do have to travel, you know this. Sometimes we have to spend longer at the office. Sometimes we'll have to pull an all-nighter. Sometimes. And if we don't invest in our wives, she's going to get sick and tired of that shit fast. Do you think, and I hear this quite a lot, when you're looking to pour money into your business, you're looking to invest in your business, and I hear a lot of people who's like, the wife will pull the plug on it. The wife shows no support. The wife shows no loyalty to this drive. They're kind of like, oh, do you not want to get a job? Do you not think it'd be better to get a job? Oh, do you think that's a bit risky? Do you think that investing in your wife and having her on side would help your business? Having her on side would help your business. Yes, it would. Relationship with your kids. Feel less guilty when you go away. You're not guilty about being in the office. It affects the business, right? In fact, I'd say that affects your business, your balance. Your relationships with your wife and kids affects your business more than anything else. And your business affects your relationship with your wife and kids more than anything else. Often this at the cost of this. Or, for a lot of dudes, these new age dudes, this at the cost of this. So they're with the kids and their wife all the time, but the kids and wife are eating fucking cat food. The balance is here, the sweet spot is here. So then we've got, okay, how does being affect your business? Well, that's kind of, okay, can you stay calm in the chaos? Can you stay focused on one thing? Can you not get triggered when a client leaves? Can you not get triggered when somebody pisses you off? Can you stay in the zone when everybody's trying to fucking distract you and the noise is overwhelming? Can you stay present? Yeah, so you could say that about your business quite a bit, mate.
We talked at length earlier about your business journey and how successful it's been. Not only from, you've achieved good financial success with it. You've had the fame and the fortune, if you will, that's come with it all. But when we first met several years ago, at that time, that was all going great, but there was lots of things in your life that was kind of falling down and crippling down. And we were all believing that, if we build the business, everything will be great. And we talked earlier about freedom and how business gives you freedom. At that time, with all that financial success, we said that you're not free. The difference now is different, isn't it? Talk to me now about how businesses...
Here's how I can describe this, right? I ran a marathon whilst being out of shape. I ran this marathon, I ended up at the finish line exhausted, but it was the wrong finish line. Imagine that. Imagine running a marathon that took like 7 years. You fucking sweated blood for this shit. You fell out with people for this shit. You lost friends because of this shit. You lost hours and hours away from your missus, hours and hours away from your friend. You gave up hobbies to finish this marathon, and then you get to the end and you're like, oh, I'm at the wrong fucking finish line here. That's kind of what happened. So that's the first piece, and I built this business that kind of, it made a lot of money, but there was kind of zero freedom, and you know why it was, Mark? And this wasn't a topic that I wanted to really discuss today. I built this business that attracted the wrong type of people. They weren't bad people, they just weren't a good fit for me. I was having to be somebody I was not, to not only get them in and paying me, but also to keep them. So the match was totally wrong. I felt like I was walking on eggshells around them. Like they were offended by me saying fuck a lot. And I don't say fuck for effect. We just drove past the factory where I used to work. I served my time in a factory full of men who never get laid. Full of men who live for the weekend. But again, I'm cool with that. But I sometimes can't help saying fuck because it's the way I talk. So if you come in a business and you're offended by the word fuck, I used to literally I was in fear. I was walking on eggshells. I was exhausted. And here's what I felt like. I felt like I mentioned suffocated at some point today, and I felt like I was suffocated by these people and their opinions and what they were offended by and what they were buttered by and that they were going to do, and I just felt suffocated by the whole fucking thing. Yeah, and it's took several slaps across the face and several trips to the fucking to the lunatic asylum to kind of get my head around that shit. Now my business is very different.
We spoke at length earlier about how passionate you are about not letting other men, entrepreneurs, fathers, slip into that. And you know, we spoke at length about how that is now your mission in life, to not let guys fall into that pit and go through all of that. Tell me a little bit about, before we finish today's episode, just tell me a little bit about why that's important to you now.
I'm going to be brutally honest here, dude. If someone wants to fucking go down that route, I'm not going to fucking save them. I'm not a fucking savior. What I am though, and what I hope to be, is a fucking leader of these men. A man that doesn't preach, that doesn't need to preach, that doesn't need to rant and rave at people, that just stands there as a fucking beacon, like a dude that like a fucking lighthouse. I don't know why I'm doing this, I'm not in the fucking village, people. But like a lighthouse, so I'm living my life by example so that people can see how my life has changed and how I've changed as a person, and say, you know what? I felt like you did and I want to feel like you do now. I was being who you were being and I want to be who you're being now. So I'm not a fucking savior. I'm not Jesus H. Christ. If I try and save people, I'll get crucified. There's probably someone going to comment under this video and say I'm a fucking arsehole anyway. And have you considered that that person is probably the person that needs my help the most because he's been emotionally triggered by his own bullshit. Yeah, so actually, I'm pretty passionate about this. I just think, right, there are men in UK and Europe that just need to be fucking woken up, and I have the tools, the techniques, the hacks, and the fucking testicular fortitude, and actually nothing to fucking lose. Because here's the thing, here's the difference between what I do and what a lot of other people do, is that I actually have a business that isn't this thing. See, we get these life coaches and we get these people cuddling each other and high-fiving each other and rubbing oil on each other's nipples. But I'm like, dude, what have you been through? Where is the example? And now I'm like, okay, I'm the example. All these other dudes that I've already helped are the example. I have nothing to prove here and actually nothing to lose, which is why I'm so frank about talking about this. I have a legit business. So when you're coming at me with problems and issues, I'm like, dude, I fucking get it. I get it. I have empathy for you. I understand, but I will not fucking save you. I will crawl with you. I'll walk with you. I'll run with you. But what I will not do is put you on my back and fucking carry you. Because if I try and save you, guess what happens, dude? We both drown. We both fucking drown. What I will do is throw you a fucking one of those things. One of those things, you know those things, those fucking, them things that go around your waist and are like comedy things? Or I could just throw you a fucking life jacket. Could just throw someone a life jacket, right, Mark? What I'm saying is here is that I will not crawl down into your pit of despair, but right now, what I'll give you is a fucking rope to climb out. It's your choice whether you take it or not, and I don't want to say I don't give a fuck, because I do. Or I wouldn't be doing this. So I do give a fuck, but what I'm going to say is I'm not going to step down in there with you and join in your fucking pain and suffering. I've already had enough of that shit. That's all I've got, bro. I'm out of here. I'm limping.